ones, empaths, what you got to realize is from the beginning of when you encountered these narcissists, they manipulated you. They manipulated you to get into your life. They manipulated you to open up the door to them. They done this. They study you. They studied your weak points, your strong points, your weak points. They studied your flaws. They studied, and I don't mean flaws, I just mean they look at it as like flaws, or maybe you're too loving. Like they studied you to figure out how you are and how they can do things to manipulate you and be able to exploit you to the best possibility that they can. Like the words "I love you" were used as a tool of deception. That's what they done to you. They deceived you with the words "I love you." And as I've mentioned previously before, it's not that they don't know how to love, it's they copy. They're devoid of empathy. They don't know how to pair bond. So they act like they know how to love. But they manipulated you from the very beginning. They saw you from afar and they said, right, let me manipulate them to do A, B, C, D. Let me get them into their life. Let me get them into my life. Let me gain some leverage. Be able to exploit them and be able to reap benefits of it. That's the whole goal in mind, is for them able to reap benefits out of you. None of their relationships, a real relationship, is based upon two people getting together and loving each other and doing things for each other for the sake of love. They get into a relationship to exploit you and get you to do things for them, and it's not from a place of love, you know? They make you do this, and they'll pick an ideal candidate. That's what you've got to understand. You are an ideal candidate. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It'll take 2 seconds of your time. Thank you. But you are an ideal candidate for a particular time frame in their life. You know, that's why you may question yourself and you say, like, why was the narcissist like this with me if I had children? Or why was the narcissist like this with me if I'd done A, B, and C, and D for them? Like, why are they like this to me now? It's because for a particular time period, they needed you for those things to be sorted out in those lives. So if they wanted children, then they used you to have children. That's basically as simple as it comes down to, right? In my situation, the narcissist was going through a bad spell in their life because they had an accident and they were unwell, right? And me, the type of person that I was at my life during that time, I didn't really let anybody in. This was before I knew I was an empath, right? But they had an accident. They had fallen down the stairs previously to me meeting them, and they'd endured some injuries, right? But so when I met them, and then they started to go to hospital and things like that, and then it started in me caring for them. That's how they got me. They picked me because they saw it in me. They didn't pick someone else. They knew I was a caring person. They saw something on the first day and they always mentioned it. Because when they went to move to go get something, I said, no, let me get it. Just out of me being a nice person, and they took that inch and they went a mile with it. That's basically what happened. So if you can, anything that I mention in this video, if you can base it to your own circumstance, because that's basically what it is. The narcissist in my life caught a glimpse of how I'm caring. They saw my empathy. They saw me care. And they used me for me to heal them. And that's why I say we pick them up from the trash. We pick them up from their lowest sometimes. And we build them up. And we build them up. And that's what I done. And then after they get to a certain level, they'll throw it all back in your face. Because we was chosen by them for a particular time frame period. But what it is with us empaths, I've mentioned it before. And this is the master manipulator. This is why it's the title of the video, is the master manipulator, because this is what they do, right? But one thing they're not prepared of, they're not prepared for the mirroring that we do to them, you see? Because as much as they're manipulating us and getting what they want out of us, our natural defense mechanisms kick in and mirror back to them that they're exploiting us. We mirror back to them certain tendencies which make them very uncomfortable. So that causes it's not just a walk in the park for them to be able to manipulate us. But when we have good nature in us, we're caring, you know, we do things for them and help them in their own lives, you know. We help them in their own lives through their problems. But yet, when we're standing alone. During our problems, we're standing alone. And, or maybe we've separated and then we run into some problems afterwards and then we have to fight them alone. And it's a sad thing because we was like that ride or die that was there for them, helping them get through obstacles in their life. All through they manipulated us. Simple as it is. They manipulated us and they chose us so we can get A, B, C, and D done for them in their lives. It's basically what it is. Sad to say, but the words "I love you" were used as a tool of deception, like I said earlier. It's a tool of deception. There to deceive you. There to get gain from you. How many of you, I guarantee if we was in a room where I said raise your hand to, and I mentioned my story there about how I helped them after they was ill and stuff like that. How many of us will put up our hands and been in a similar circumstance? You know? Or if you help them, you might have helped them with their children. You might have helped them in some legal battles. You might have helped them, they may have gone bankrupt and you supported them when they were bankrupt. Then when you built them back up and they made their mystery millions, they threw it all back in your face or ran off with a new supply. So I want you to understand that the trauma bond, you've been manipulated, you've been groomed. It's basically what it is. You've been manipulated, you've been groomed. You've been groomed to be a suitable supply. You was a suitable supply anyway, but they kind of chip away, you know? You know, like chipping away at a sculpture. They kind of sculpt you. Chip away this bit, chip away that bit, and all through the process, you're losing yourself. Chip away this bit, chip away that bit. And by the end of it, you're like walking, talking, you don't even know what you are by the end of it. It takes you a long time to heal. For me, it took me a long time to heal. By the end of it, you're basically like them. Because you've been mirroring them. They've chipped away all these bits of your personality to make you be comfortable around them. Apart from the mirroring, that really grates on them. But they chip away at all this bit and they exploit us and manipulate us to bend us into shape and contort us to basically become their version of us. We're no longer us anymore. So it's about rebuilding ourselves because we're no longer us. And listen, I'll be honest with you, yeah? It took me, because I had court cases and things like that, and I thought I was going to go to prison, and things like that happened to me. It took it out of me, man. It took it out of me. And it took me, say, 2 years, maybe a bit less than 2 years, before I decided to take that leap of faith and go and work abroad and get out of the country, because that's something they never wanted me to do. So I felt like I needed to achieve that for myself, and I went and worked out of the country, and unfortunately COVID hit after about 4 months I was out there, so I had to return home. But for that 4 months working abroad, eating abroad, going to restaurants on my own, doing these things, living the working life abroad, what I thought was my purpose at the time, it revitalized me, but I still wasn't fully healed. So after two years, I still wasn't fully healed. I went through some other misfortunate events and stuff like that afterwards where I was still healing, and it took me a while to heal, to get to the point where I feel like I can deliver a message on YouTube. Not all of you will go through that. Some of you will be healed in 6 months, you get me? But for me, it took me a long time to get where I'm at, to the point where I'm fully healed. And it wasn't like, after 2 years, I didn't want them back, but I was still trauma bonded, missing the good times, you know? But this is all their manipulation. Everything that you think is good about them is their manipulation to make you think that. It's their master, you know? They're making you think that. They make you fall in love with an illusion. It's not, it doesn't exist. They don't exist. It's why you'll see them after you break up with them. If you see them, you'll say, what has happened to this person? They're not the same person. It's because they manipulated you in the beginning to make you think they were like that. They mirrored you. As much as you are, see, I forgot to say, as much as we was mirroring them, they was mirroring us too. We basically fell in love with our own reflection, which is what the true story of the narcissist is about, or narcissism, is about the man who said the first thing he lays eyes on in the Greek mythology, he'll fall in love with. And he fell in love with his own reflection in the lake, and he fell in the lake and he died. So that's basically what happens with us. We, like, everything we love about the narcissist is basically their mirror of us. There is no them. And when you see them with their new supply, or you see them with a group of friends, or you see them with their family, they'll be a different person. They'll be mirroring them. And you catch wind of it, you'll be like, yo, like, you're different than that. Like, do you know what I'm saying? That's how you'll be. And it's because they're mirroring. They're mirroring you. They're master manipulators. They manipulate you to get to you, to exploit you. And just remember, the words "I love you" was used as a tool of deception. So it's hard to hear it, but there was no love there. But as I said many times before now, we've experienced the bad. Now we've experienced the bad, we can move forward and we can know the bad, but we can also know the good. If we encountered good before we encountered the narcissist, we wouldn't truly be grateful for encountering the good or someone good in our lives. We wouldn't truly know its value. You know, we'll take it for granted. So God is very clever, the universe is very clever, the way that our lives are planned, and we're predestined to walk this path and head down it and just reap the benefits. Because as much as I said they reap benefits, they only reap benefits for as long as they're around us. What we gain from this experience lives with us eternally, in this life and the next. We've gained so much wisdom from encountering these individuals. No thanks to them. It's not thanks to them. It's thanks to God and the universe. So let's use these lessons that we've had in this amount of knowledge that we've been given, use it going forward in our lives. So anyway, just a short video today. I'll leave the video there. Please press the like and the subscribe button, and if you want a one-to-one session, you can find the details in the description box. Anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.